Taoiseach Taoiseach.
Deputy, try and stay quiet. Thanks.
Will sé ceart nó cóga bhfuil duine áirithe a couple of aharonic foil pay well a wadro ard agus tá sé ag breisiú rialacha an realtas and Taoiseach Dúirtú nach rua sogat faoi seo. But you know, we have the Master of the Rotunda receiving a package of more than €300,000. We have the Master of the National Maternity Hospital receiving a package of more than €281,000. The Chief Executive of the Central Remedial Clinic received more than €242,000. And that's when thousands of children with developmental delays and behavioural issues are waiting over a year to see specialists. It's when this government has so far failed to provide funding for bilateral cochlear ear implants for profoundly deaf children. It's when tracheotomy babies in Our Lady's Hospital in Crumlin, some of them are going to spend a second Christmas in hospital, even though they've been declared well enough to go home, but the HSE hasn't sanctioned safe levels of home care. And meantime, these exorbitant top-ups are being given, for example, to the CEO of the Crumlin Children's Hospital. So it's not right, Taoiseach, and people know that when there are savage cutbacks to disability services, when hard-pressed families are forced to fundraise, they're fundraising to help provide services for their children. Surely the proceedings or the proceeds of monies gathered on those campuses or on those hospitals should be used for hospital services rather than top up for very well-paid executives. So my question is straightforward, Taoiseach. When or how long have you and your Minister for Health been aware of this situation? And then, equally importantly, what do you intend to do about it?
Thank you. It's a fair question. The answer to your question is that this came out last May in respect of the governance of Tallaght Hospital. Following the information that I've given to Deputy Martin, the Minister for Health ordered an internal audit to be carried out in respect of all the Section 38 hospitals and agencies that are involved here. As I said already, today is the closing day for the receipt of return information following the internal audit, and a very clear letter being sent out to each of the chief executives. Now, I might say to you, Deputy Adams, and you're aware of this anyway, clearly there's a difference between HSE-run hospitals and the voluntary hospitals. The HSE know what they are paying to the chief executives in respect of all the HSE hospitals, and these are strictly in compliance with the public pay service agreements. In regard to voluntary hospitals under the Section 38 arrangement, and the HSE have a contract with each of these agencies. So I think it's only appropriate that we should have at our disposal, and that the HSE and the Minister should have at their disposal, the truth of the information as requested by the HSE twice to each of the agencies involved. So I hope that the report can be published quickly, furnished to the Minister, put up on the public website and discussed here in the Oireachtas. As I said, the position is very clear. The Minister and the HSE have made it perfectly clear to the agencies that they are not entitled to have unapproved non-exchequer funding used as a top-up arrangement which breaches the public pay service agreement. And the letter quite clearly said that Section 38 providers should provide written confirmation to the following 4 issues. 1. Remuneration payable is in accordance with the Department of Health Consolidated Salary Scales. 2. Non-exchequer sources of funding are not used to exceed approved rates of remuneration. 3. That the payment of all unsanctioned payments has ceased. And 4. The recoupment of any overpayments will be pursued as expeditiously as possible. That's the position, Deputy Adams.
Deputy Adams.
But isn't part of the problem, Taoiseach, the fact that your own cabinet is in breach of government guidelines in the pay that you award some of your special advisors? And isn't this the difficulty for the government? You know, some of the reports in the media suggest that the Department of Health has been aware since at least 1998 I don't know the truth of that, but from 1998 that some of these organisations have paid chief officers over and above HSE pay scales through other resources. And those resources, for example, in the Crumlin Children's Hospital, include 30,000 top-up from the proceedings of the shop. No, is this where fees for car parks are going? Into these elite personalities? We have a situation where more HSE top executives are on salaries of over 100,000 this year than there were last year. That's fact. So, I think the problem is that there's still a culture of privilege. And this culture of privilege permeates in this institution here and into the government that you're charged with leading. So would you not agree that there needs to be leadership by example, and that this culture of privilege is fuelled through the actions of your ministers in breaching pay guidelines at a time of huge hardship for the vast majority of citizens? And again, I contrast the refusal thus far, and I hope this is going to be rectified, to provide bilateral cochlear ear implants while we still provide these huge top-ups, or for children with disabilities. So, Taoiseach, I think this is a call that you could and should make and act on, and deal with this culture of privilege and get rid of it.
Gerry Adams, the call has been made. The call is being acted upon. The Minister and the HSE are waiting for receipt of the information that they have requested. Let me repeat for you again. On the 30th of September, the circular letter from the National Director of Human Resources in the HSE could not have been any clearer. It required that the agencies involved respond in writing by today to the HSE for furnishing to the Minister that all remuneration paid to employees is in accordance with the Department of Health consolidated pay scales, that non-exchequer sources of funding are not used to supplement employee remuneration, to give rise to rates of individual remuneration that exceed Department of Health consolidated pay scales, that if unsanctioned payments were previously paid, that all such payments have now ceased, and that where appropriate, for example, under the FEMPI Act, that this is dealt with as expeditiously as possible. So the information arose from the analysis of May last year, followed by the instruction by the Minister for Health to carry out an internal audit. That audit has been sent to all of the agencies involved with 2 letters that are very clear, that are very strong, that are very straight, to all of these agencies to reply back by today, so that the Minister and the HSE can have a clear picture of what's actually involved here. As I said to Deputy Martin, we can't have a situation, Deputy Adams, where people down the line in the Department of Health and across the public service have taken serious change and have had their lifestyles impacted upon because of all of this. You find that at certain levels that unapproved payments have been made from other sources to top up people's salaries. So I hope that this is very clear. And as I say, when the report comes into the Minister from the HSE, it will be published, it will be debated. And as I say, the HSE have contracts with the Section 38 agencies and can follow through in respect of the recoupment of any such unauthorised allowances as part of that contract.
Thank you.